I'm sure you're all familiar with iTunes playlists, which you create in iTunes on your Mac or PC. These playlists are also available in Apple's Music app on your iOS device. Most of you will also be aware that you can create your own playlists within Apple's Music app. Today, I'm going to show you how to create playlists within OneTrack that are not available outside OneTrack, and why we should want to do this. On a fresh install of OneTrack, we have our iTunes playlist listed. And at the top of the playlist view, as we've not yet created any OneTrack playlists, we have a large button inviting us to do so. Now, before we go into the how-to, I just need to briefly explain the why. iTunes playlists are set outside OneTrack, and OneTrack cannot actually change them or delete them. This is very handy, as you know that as long as you don't delete anything on your Mac or PC, then resync, you will always have these as a guaranteed fallback. However, sometimes you do want to reorder a playlist, maybe delete a few tracks, or add a few more just before a gig. Perhaps you want 3 varieties of playlists based on one master playlist with slightly different playing orders. This is where OneTrack playlists come in. Okay, enough of the why. Let's jump in and create a OneTrack playlist. First, we just tap the Create a OneTrack Playlist button. Alternatively, we could tap the plus button top left, which does the same thing. We choose a meaningful name for our new playlist. I'll put in, say, Short Gig, and tap OK. We can now choose from our iTunes library, adding as many of each item as we require. I'll add all tracks from one of my earlier albums by tapping the Add All Songs button, and then maybe add 2 copies of the track Silent Stream from the Tethering Clouds album. I tap the Done button when I'm finished. And I'll now select my newly created playlist and check out the order of songs. We can see here that I've accidentally added 3 copies of the Silent Stream song, so I need to do a bit of editing. I can just swipe from left to right on the track to delete it, or I can tap on the Edit button top right and delete the extra track, and then go on to move some of the tracks around. In order to move a track, I press and hold on the little striped icon on the right of the track, and when it pops up, I can move it up and down in the playlist. When I'm finished, I tap the Done button. You will also notice in Edit mode that I have a new button on the top left. This allows me to add tracks to my playlist without having to drop back out to the playlist's view. And now we can use our playlist just as we would an iTunes playlist, bearing in mind that OneTrack playlists are only ever available inside OneTrack. One further item of note is that we can go back out to the playlist view and tap the Add Playlist button again. If we type the same name as an existing OneTrack playlist, we are asked if we would like to overwrite the existing one or add new items to it. And finally, now that we have a user playlist, we might want to delete it. We can do this by either swiping across it or tapping the Edit button top right and deleting it from there. I hope this brief run-through of OneTrack playlists has been useful. Do check out our other tutorials for more in-depth info on getting the most out of OneTrack. Thanks for your time.